This is my presentation of inventory of practice. I'm going to start with telling a little bit of myself. I'm working in 5280 Early Childhood Education Center as a co-teacher in a toddler's classroom, with children aged 15 months to 2 years old. I'm really enjoying working with toddlers and hoping to improve my teaching skills by taking early childhood education classes. It has been so helpful for even though just this couple weeks of learning. My classroom ratio is 1:4 so that I can make sure all my children in my classroom have my full attention. I hope by taking this class I can be able to effectively guide children learn and develop. A little bit of the child care center I work at. I like my school philosophy that it encourages outdoors play and focused on the development of a child as a whole person from 6 weeks through 5 years of age. They believe that young children acquire knowledge through active participation in the world, building, playing, talking, listening, painting, running, reading, measuring, and many more experiences. They believe that children are exceptional individuals who gain knowledge through their surroundings in various ways. So I believe that as well, we as people, we learn from all the interactions with people, environments, and everything. By doing this practice, I noticed what my strengths and weaknesses are during teaching and be able to use these strategies to build positive relationships, create support environments, learn strategies of promoting children's social and emotional skills. So the purpose of inventory is to identify training needs, is to plan a course of action to adjust those needs related to 4 general areas like building positive relationships, creating supporting environments and social teaching strategy, and individualized intensive interventions. How I use the inventory of practice. I would use this practice by self-reflections, knowing what my strengths and weaknesses are so that I can have a target for training and make an action plan to implement. First of all, I develop meaningful relationships with both children and families. I always communicate with children on their eye level. For example, the children in my class are toddlers. I would always sit on the floors to do crafts with them as well as giving them vocal instructions. I always sit on the floor whenever I play with them or sing and read to them. I notice that they focus on me more when we are on the same eye levels. Secondly, I use a variety of strategies for building relationships with all children and families. For example, I always talk to parents when they came to pick up. We talk about how the child doing today and especially use positive language in front of the child to encourage him or her to do good. I also take notes of children challenge behavior by observing them and communicating to the parents so that we can help the child stop the challenge behavior. However, I realized myself not very good at participating in children's play except doing crafts, because toddlers need lots of help doing crafts. I tend to let them play with each other rather than playing with them, except there's a new kids coming into a classroom, they tend to be close to teachers. My action plan is to design activities to promote engagements for not only students but also teachers, like building blocks together, sing together, and dance together. My strengths in creating supportive environments are develop schedules and routines and make sure smooth transitions. My coworker and me believe that children need consistent routine to ensure smooth transitions. For example, our daily schedule is always the same: drop off, playtime, breakfast, change diapers, outdoor play, snack time, and so on. So children build a habit following the routine. Whenever there is transitions, we always notify children ahead of time so they won't be upset, or they have the expectations to what we're gonna do next. However, my target training is to clearly define boundaries in learning centers, because the classroom doesn't really have clear boundaries of different learning areas, but traffic paths, which sometimes doesn't work very well. The action plan for achieving my goal is to rearrange the classroom to create a clean learning areas like library area, small group area, by creating boundaries in the classroom. My strengths in children's social and emotional teaching strategies are: interact with children to develop their self-esteem and shows sensitivity to individual children's needs. I always respond to children's ideas and recognize children's effort. I like paying attention on children's behavior and encourage them by giving positive language. I also so compassionate to show respect and accommodate individuals' needs, personalities, and characteristics. Especially when children cry, I try to first calm them down and try to understand what they might need by listening to them, or communicating to their parents to understand what they might encounter right now. However, because of my compassion, sometimes I give too much attention to those children who love crying, which I should give general reminder like to play with your friends. For example, I have a little girl in my class loves to stick with the teachers because she has hard time socializing with friends. In this case, my action plan is to provide more opportunities for children to play with each other by creating activities that allow a small group play and include this little girl. What's more, I will provide, like holding hands and marching. What's more, I will always communicate with parents to pay attention to make sure they pay attention on their child's socializing needs. My big aha during this course is that ignore appropriately. I used to think that never ignore a child because it could build the sense of insecurity of the child. But now I understood that ignore appropriately would help children to stop their unhealthy behavior because some children like to always against what teacher or parents ask them to do to gain attention. For example, a child in my class likes to fake cry to gain attention from us. Teachers, now we know her trick. We ignore her. She would just stop whining and play by herself or play with others. In this case, it's really helpful.